Hey Studio Pals, welcome back to the channel and thanks for stopping by. WeCREAT, the laser engraving company, contacted me and they asked me if I would like to try out one of their flagship models, the WeCREAT Vision Pro 45 watt blue diode laser system, and I said yes. Basically, we're going to do an unboxing and run the machine through some of its standardized materials that they give you, loading the software and getting it set up and seeing how easy it is and how it compares to some of the other laser systems that we've actually had on this channel before. Also, full disclosure, WeCREAT gave me this machine to test out, so I will be doing an unbiased opinion of it, but I will be putting links to all of the stuff down below so that you can actually click on it and purchase this machine if you'd like. And obviously that's going to assist my channel a lot and helps out little creators like myself. So yeah, let's get into this WeCREAT Vision Pro 45 watt laser engraver. It has a lot of interesting features that I think you guys will be interested in. Spot, huh? Is that famous? Cat girl. We have a cable. It says spare parts for the laser. Oh, save all packing materials, because you never know. I assume, yes. Laser bed. This is interesting because it's very sharp. I think that's going to be a really great addition. Please take out the laser bits at the back of this package. We did. We have some test materials. We will use them. This is apparently 3mm basswood. We like that. It appears to, there it is. It's a lightweight metal and I didn't want to bend it by forcing it out of the foam, so be careful when you do that. Apparently that is to slide the tray in and out. This appears to be, yes, but we have lots and lots of testing materials. Well, the first thing I've noticed just off the cuff here, a few things real quickly. This is heavy. It's metal. The WeCREAT Vision Pro weighs 77 pounds. I wasn't aware that it was that heavy when I lifted it onto the table. The entire thing is built like an automobile. The Xtool S1 behind me over here is basically plastic, except for its interior. The WeCREAT Vision Pro has what they're calling beam focus technology. The beam focus technology in the Vision Pro can actually take 45 watts and make it act like a 60 watt cutter. Both the Xtool S1 and the Vision Pro have the ability to allow pass-throughs and to purchase a conveyor system. Now the pass-through on the WeCREAT Vision Pro will allow you to do approximately 18 inches by 137 inches. The Xtool only allows 18.5 inches by 118 inches. So I don't know why that is, but this will do longer boards, apparently. The interior working area of this machine is 19 by 12. It's actually 19.7 by 12.6. It's really close to the interior of the Xtool S1. In fact, it's just a little bit bigger. The Xtool S1 has mechanical focusing to where it springs a little clip, focuses on the media, and then has to move the head over to a reset lever, click the pin back in, and then travel back. This doesn't have that. This has LiDAR. Yeah. And the LiDAR focusing is like super accurate. It's like 0.0001. This works with Lightburn. This works with its camera. It has a built-in HD camera right here. So the software is going to be interesting to get into because I'm familiar with CreateSpace, which is Xtool's proprietary software for all of its lasers. They want you to use their proprietary software. Well, what if we want to use Lightburn with this? We're going to try. We'll put that out there too. The infrared module for the WeCREAT Vision Pro, for instance, is $499. The one for the Xtool is $599. So make of that what you will. They're basically the same thing. Self-rising. So we don't need the $200 metal base that you would need for the Xtool S1. Protective film. Was that satisfying? I believe this will simply lift like any, boy, and I mentioned earlier it was like automotive. This is like a car hood. It's all metal. Wow. We have our manual. Big pictures. I like big pictures. Here's a test. I'm sure that's a test of this particular laser exclusively. Kitty. We like kitties. We have our concentric test, radial test. Remember when we showed you the spare parts? They give you another cable. Oh boy. I really want to take this box out of here first. If you can see, you can't see that. I'll go ahead and move the, let's open this one first. Air assist. Here's our air assist. Rubberized feet for noise, vibration reduction, and double pistoned. Aha. Now I can take this out of here. Oh, and that's heavy. There's our rotary. But this chuck works in reverse, so it grabs the inside of tumblers and mugs and everything else. That's the way to go. Right there, baby. Inside this one, we have a screwdriver. I believe that's a USB-A, but don't quote me. This is our cowl for our fan in the back to connect it to an exhaust, looks like a 4-inch. I have no idea what all this is. We have bubble levels. We have tape measures. I assume we have Wi-Fi. That's a Wi-Fi antenna that will go into the back of the unit. First I thought this was a dongle, but it is not. It is simply a USB-C to USB-A. So I believe that's an A. So what that's for is all of you modern computer owners who only have USB-C or want to use it. There, you hook that to that cable. Well, they actually give you the hose. The last thing, in all honesty, there's not really that much in here. That's a very standard power supply for lasers and things of that nature. And it's got a 3-prong, so if you ever lose this, you probably have 18 of these at home. I know I do. It is packaged very tightly. All right, now that's all just foam. You gotta look for little chambers and things to make sure you're not throwing away instructions or screws or anything, but there's nothing in that. So, we have movement this way, but we are supposed to make sure and remove these screws. Those, please remove the transport guard screws, excuse me. All 3 of those, and all 3 of those on this side. Apparently that's what our handy dandy gray flat blade is for. That's a serious screw. And I mean, there's a million threads, so yeah, that's gonna take you a while just to take those out. There's only 2 on this side. There are 3 on this side. So you have to lift the machine up just a little bit in order to get this edge of this plate above it. Little edge right there. When that edge is over on both sides, then the plate slides right in. So now we need to get everything hooked up to the back of the system. This is our Air Assist power, and what we're going to do is take our Air Assist and take the 3-prong plug. That's its power plug, and it has a collar. It only inserts one way, and screw the collar down onto the threads, nice and tight, and then attach the rubberized end of the hose to the Air Assist itself. That's silicone. It's a quick release. Take the other end of the vinyl hose and attach it to the quick release in the back of the Vision Pro. And this is your USB-B plug. It looks like a little house. You connect that and then connect the other end to your computer or whatever you're going to run the machine with. This is a little wrench they give you. You have to take these nuts off of these screws in order to put the flange, your cowl, on, and it's not that easy to put them back on because there's not a whole lot of purchase there. So I suggest getting a better tool than the one they gave you, but if that's all you have, that's all you have. Attach the Wi-Fi antenna by screwing it into the connector. And that's about all there is to it. There's not really that much. Now, if this hose is too long, you can easily cut it to length. It's just vinyl. There we go. The machine is on. It beeped twice. Ah. It's alive. Now I have it on good authority. You have to do this in order for you to be able to put these panels in. They won't fit in. Switch activated. Pointy side up, I assume. They have this groove that they fit into. Consequently, there's the opposite groove. Close the lid, lights come on. Now let's go back over to the computer. Okay folks, first thing we need to do is to go to WeCREAT's website and hit the software button up here and download the Make It software, which is the proprietary software that WeCREAT uses to run their machines. Big purple download button right here at the beginning, quite obvious. Select your operating system. We're on Windows, so I'll select that. And the download takes a bit of time. If you are a Lightburn user, we will get into that later. But for now, we're going to be using the Make It software that runs the machine. And once your download is finished, you'll get the little folder icon right next to it. Click that to open up where the download went, usually your downloads folder, and double click on the WeCREAT Make It executable file. This is 3.0.2 version. I like to look at the large icons and double click that. And it says it's going to install it in the C drive. Say install. And run the software by saying finished. Now once the software does load, it'll ask accept to continue. And you'll select a region, either North America or Europe, whichever you happen to be in. And once the software launches, it will immediately come up and we are going to hit new project instantly. because otherwise it's just going to give you the front end of their site. Now, it's going to try and get you to go through the tutorial real quick, so we'll just spin through it right here. I suggest you go through the tutorial, but once you're done, you'll notice the laser isn't showing up and it's asking to connect. That's because, see, USB driver not installed. Click that and let it install. Click next. And you can read all this if you want to, but it's just an Acer incorporated USB driver. Go ahead and click finished. And then restart your computer. Once we've restarted our computer, if you hit the refresh button after seeing that Vision Pro on USB is green at the top, you'll actually see your high-def camera come through. Now, I'm just going to go instantly and say import here. And I'm going to go into my computer, and I'm going to go into my downloads folder, and I have a photo here. It's just a photo, a grayscale of Dr. Sigmund Freud. It says content is too large for the canvas. Would you like to fit it? You say yes, and it'll just fit it on there. And you'll get your adjustment icons to allow you to change any shape or size. Now this is just a JPEG, and a black and white JPEG. We're going to size it down a little bit. I'm going to put it roughly in the middle of where I think it is, and I'm going to take one of our pieces of basswood, our 3mm basswood pieces, and I'm just going to put that right there in the center and close the lid on the Vision Pro. Now go back to where it says refresh, hit the refresh button, and it will show you what you've just placed in there. It basically takes another photo. Now we know exactly where this image is going to burn when we decide to cut it. Go ahead and size it. And because it's a photo, it's going to come through as an engraved file. I'm going to select it, and we have image editing over here to the far left. And when you click that, that just allows you to rotate and crop and do simple things like that. But the one next to it, image processing, when you select that one, it actually allows you to run your image algorithm, your Jarvis or Stucky, halftoning. This one's set at 250 dots per inch. Let's increase that to 318 because I know that's what this image was when I created it. The line density will change automatically. We can adjust the brightness, contrast, the sharpness of the image. I'm going to increase the brightness a bit because they always come out a little too dark, it seems. We got highlights, shadows, and grayscale. I'm going to pull the grayscale down just a bit, just because I want to play with that. And so those are coming through. This should be pretty good, accurate. So now we've got Dr. Freud selected, and over here we've got select materials. So, well, we select the material. We know this is most probably 3mm basswood. It's either 3mm basswood or birch, so I'm pretty sure it's basswood. But there's birch plywood, there's all of these different types of wood. You randomly get close to the type of wood it is, and then you can start isolating it from there. But we'll just go ahead and say 3mm basswood, and you'll notice that it comes up and says 3mm basswood right here. Now autofocusing is on, the thickness comes through as 3mm because that's what we selected. And we can select material preview. Now all that's going to do is give us a background for kind of what the wood would look like. I really don't see much use for the material preview, but we can select that, and that's basically how the wood looks. Now I'm going to go ahead and click autofocus, and the machine rises up. It'll swing over. First it'll turn its light off. It'll swing over, and then the red dot will come on, and it will literally autofocus to where the plywood is. That is so cool that it uses LiDAR to focus. It's just, I've never seen anything like it. And then the head swings back over, lights comes back on, and now we have it autofocused. Now with it autofocused, when we click on the image, you'll see that we have bitmap engraving shows up over here, and we have a lot of options over here. Our power, our speed, the numbers, but right here, it's kind of hard to see. It's I've got my laptop, so you have to scroll down. But here is your preview, and it's a matrix preview of that wood type. It's the thing that's really making the software shine. So if you click on it, you'll literally see wood, basswood, and all of these are active. You can select any one of these matrices and say, I want it 40% power, I want it 100% power, I want it speed of 50 millimeters per second. I believe these are all set for millimeters a second. And yeah, so let's select this one, 200 millimeters a second. Well, wait, that might be a little light. Nah, that sounds good. 200 millimeters a second at 40% power. Now when I click on it, you'll see it shows up at the top. And in order to get out of this, you have to just click outside of it. It took me a while to find that out. Now, we've got all our settings. 40% power you'll see, and 200 millimeters a second speed is all set. The line density is all set. So, what if we wanted to cut him out of that wood? So, let's take a rectangle. And I'm just going to draw a rectangle real quick. Well, maybe not that quick. It's hard to see. I'm on this laptop. It's so small. And just draw a rectangle around Dr. Freud here. Close as we can, and I'll have to pull this bottom one down just a bit. Alright, so we've got this rectangle, and the rectangle is selected now, not the image. And if you go over here, we'll select cut, and we'll select power. I like to keep it around 80 so that we don't stress the laser out too much. 80% power and speed. This is 3 mil basswood, so we could probably go 20, but I'm going to go ahead and say something like 12 millimeters a second. That should easily get through it, especially with a 45 watt laser. Number of passes only 1. So there's that. It is set. Now, if I select Dr. Freud in the center again, you'll see that our bitmap engrave is still set for what it was, 40 and 200. If you want to see that, you click on the layers option over here to the far left in the bottom. And when you click on the layers function, you'll see that rectangle is above image. That means it's going to cut first. Well, we don't want it to cut first because it might drop and then our image would be kind of messed up. So all we have to do is take rectangle and drag it below image. Now image cuts first and rectangle cuts second. And you can click on the layers palette, it goes away. And what we're going to do now is probably, just go ahead and hit the start button. You'll see it start working. Another dialog comes up, shows you what is getting ready to process. You hit the send button, and it processes it. And it says hit the big button on the front of the Vision Pro. When you do that, your engraving starts. Well, that is not half bad. It takes quite a bit of dialing in to get a good image on anything, especially like a piece of basswood, but that's pretty good for just throwing it out there. I'm actually really impressed with how fast we did that. Fantastic. These are cool, these PU patches. 3M.
Do you have adhesive?
Uh-huh, they're really strong adhesive.
Oh, for sticking them on hats?
Yeah, or anything really. So we've placed our little PU patch into the machine and closed the door, hit the refresh button. Now I'm going to go back over into import right here and grab this SVG file. This is just a little cat paw, and it's a vectorized file, so it will not come through as an image. It'll just come through as your basic fill engraving. I'm going to go ahead and stretch the size out here and line it up where it says the patch is. Make sure that's all good, and then I'm going to go ahead and select materials again, and we're going to go over to leather this time. And there's several different types of leather. This is a PU patch, PU leather, and the closest thing to blue is purple. So we'll go ahead and set that accordingly. This is the process settings, not really apply right here. We'll go ahead and autofocus and start this one going. Well, the previous video where I took it out of the laser was obviously out of focus, so I thought I'd show you what it actually looked like. Those settings were absolutely perfect. There was quite a bit of smoke on the outside, so I had to wash it off with like a sponge, but that's typical of all the types of leather that I do. You kind of have to wash it off, but yeah, the settings matched absolutely perfect.
That is really cool. That's as black as it can be.
Pretty cool. Now honestly, I thought I got it more centered than that, but that's still pretty cool. So far what I've tested on the WeCREAT Vision Pro has been pretty impressive. So far this is my favorite. That is the coolest thing. That's very, very dark etch on stainless steel. And the power I had, it set quite low. Now it took a while. That's going to take a while because it's steel. Doing images is very difficult on laser engravers. You have to get your settings just right. But this was really, really fast and it worked really well. And I do like the software as far as the Make It software is concerned on how easy it is to set up an image and just set your parameters for it. I didn't have time to run the machine through everything it does. It basically, the one that I received from the company had the rotary with it. I didn't do any rotary testing in this particular episode because I didn't have any tankards or mugs or things, tumblers to engrave on. So that will be in another episode. Also, I will be doing another episode after this where I'm going to be putting that machine through a real-world example of what we do here at the Corvus Moon Studios. I really appreciated the one-click material parameters where you can select a material, tell it what type of material, either fiber, metal, wood, and then once you select it, you go down to the bottom and your material parameters there, you click on it and it will show you a graph, a matrix of what the power settings are going to do. That's cool. And then you can literally click one of them and just go from there. That's a game changer for people who don't want to do a lot of so I'm going to give the WeCREAT Vision Pro an A+. The Vision Pro seems to be a really good machine for anybody wanting to get into the laser engraving field and wanting to buy a halfway decent machine instead of all of these little budget models that are just going to end up crashing and you have to buy something better. Anyway, this is a decent machine. It comes with pretty much everything you need to get started if you're going to do a side hustle or some sort of thing. Thanks for sitting through this very long video, and we'll catch you next time.